everybody, Sickness here again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. And today I got myself a boatload of VHS tapes. I just recently had gone to a brand new thrift store, a store I had never been to before. The owners were super nice, and I handed them one of my business cards, one of my Cinema Sickness business cards, and I told them, I explained to them who I was, what I did, the fact that I, collected movies, and if they had gotten anything in, if they get any VHS tapes in, DVDs, Laserdisc, CDs, anything. If they get any of those in, let me know. I would definitely be there to make some purchases. So after I explained this to them, and they saw my card, and they knew what I did. They went, well, actually, we have a friend whose father just passed away, and this father had thousands of VHS tapes, and now they're trying to get rid of them all. So they gave me their number. I called them up. They said, sure, come on by. We have thousands of VHS tapes. I headed over to the house, and sure enough, yes, thousands of VHS tapes. It basically, think of my cinematic media library, but just being all VHS. That's basically what was at this house. It was just, the whole living room was just VHS tapes, just shelves of them. They had boxes of them laid all over the floor, just VHS tapes everywhere. Good news and bad news. The bad news is, I'd say, a decent amount, pretty much maybe at least 75–80% of them were very common titles. Think, like Titanic, Jerry Maguire, the titles that everybody has. However, the good news is there were actually some more obscure stuff. Some of the titles that were more obscure were actually titles that aren't available on DVD, and it's just some really good stuff. So I ended up picking up a great haul, a nice stack of VHS tapes for only $5, which was another good deal because I told him I'd give him 25 cents a piece. Unfortunately, the guy didn't have any change. He didn't have any singles on him. He only had, I think, like a 10 and a couple of 5s. So he's like, you know what, just take them all for $5. So I got all these for only $5, which, again, was a great deal. As I said, there's a ton of really good stuff in there. The really only downfall is I expected to walk out of there just with boxes and boxes full of VHS tapes. I just kind of hoped with all the tapes he had, I thought there's going to be a whole lot of stuff in here I really want, but unfortunately not as much as I thought, but I definitely got a lot of great stuff, so let's take a look at what I got. So here's the stack of VHS tapes. Now let's take a look at what I got. And the first title I picked up here is Combat Academy, which at first I thought, wow, this looks like nothing more than a complete ripoff of Police Academy, and then I read up top there it says, from the man who brought you Police Academy and Bachelor Party, so I'm assuming this is just a ripoff of Police Academy, but should be fun and never properly released to DVD. I believe it's only been unofficially released, not actually by a studio, so very cool. Then I got Cyborg Soldier. I mean, just look how cheesy that is. I had to pick this one up. Then I grabbed Mortuary. This actually gets pretty decent reviews, so I look forward to seeing it, but I absolutely love that artwork, just the hand coming out of the grave. It just really drew me in. I definitely want to check that one out. Then I grabbed Hillbillies in a Haunted House. I've heard of this movie. I hear it's pretty cheesy, pretty ridiculous, but it sounds great to me. Then I got Platoon Leader, which is great. This is a Canon Pictures film. As I've said many times, love Canon Pictures. They're my all-time favorite film studio. And this year, never released a DVD, so very happy about that. Then I got Double Blast, another movie that is a complete blind buy. I don't know anything about this movie, but just look at it. I mean, come on, tell me that's not cheesy as hell. Never released a DVD, so had to grab that one. Then I grabbed Death Dream. Just look at that artwork. Tell me that's not amazing. I had to pick this one up. I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. Then I got Basketball Diaries. Nothing special. I'm sure we've all heard of or seen this movie. I just don't own it yet. I've wanted to get myself a DVD copy for a while now, but haven't come across a cheap copy, so I figured, what the hell, I'll pick it up on VHS. Then I grabbed The Experts, another movie that's never released to DVD, so very happy to get that. Night Patrol, looked interesting. Out on a Limb. I love Matthew Broderick movies, so definitely wanted to pick this one up. Only ever released to DVD-R, so very cool to have that. And I got Cohen and Tate. Blind buy, know nothing about it, but looked interesting. And next I picked up Death Ship. What drew me to this was that right there. I just saw all that gore and thought, yeah, gotta pick this one up. Definitely looking forward to checking it out. I love the artwork, just the ship with the skull. This should be a good watch. Then I got some Disney. First one I picked up was Treasure of the, I guess it's Matacum. I don't know anything about it. It is a blind buy, but love Disney titles, so had to grab that. Then I got Now You See Him, Now You Don't. Should be fantastic. I absolutely love Kurt Russell, Disney Kurt Russell movie, so that should be great. Then I got the Swiss Family Robinson. Already had this movie on DVD, but I'm trying to pick up all the Walt Disney's Studio Film Collection VHS tapes, so I had to grab that. Same thing goes with Pollyanna. Already have it, but just want to get it for that. And again, another one with Davy Crockett. Again, just getting it for that little logo there. Then I grabbed Avenging Force, another Canon Pictures film that's never released to DVD. This is just going to be great. Can't wait to see that. Then I grabbed House. Now, I already have this movie on DVD, Laserdisc, and I also have another VHS version. But the reason I wanted to get this is the Collector's Edition Gold Series. And not that that really necessarily means anything, but I love this film. I definitely want to get it just for collecting purposes. I love having different editions of this movie. And the same thing with House 2. He also had the Collector's Edition Gold Series release, so I had to get that. Then I grabbed Rhinestone. Yes, Dolly Parton and Sylvester Stallone. I have this one on CED. Haven't watched it yet, so looking forward to checking that out. I'm sure it's going to be great cheesy goodness. Then I grabbed Cookie, a movie that's only been released to DVD-R, so definitely had to grab that one. It looks great. Then I grabbed Where the Boys Are 84. It looked to be a great cheeseball 80s party movie, so had to grab that. Next I picked up True Believer. Looked interesting. And finally, the last one I got was Moving Violations, another movie that I just saw. It looked great, so had to pick it up. So that's what I bought today. So now it's what I watched. And today I checked out Born Yesterday. It was alright, I guess. Very basic story. Melanie Griffith here. She's kind of a bit of a ditz, but she's with John Goodman, who's, Jesus Christ, some sort of politician. And she's a ditz, but he wants to smart her up because everybody's kind of laughing at her. Every time he takes her to a party or some social event, she just ends up being the butt of all the jokes. So he wants to smart her up and ends up hiring, and his name, I believe, is, yeah, right there, Don Johnson. Ends up hiring him to make her smarter. Well, they end up kind of liking each other, and he does end up making her smarter. And what ends up happening is John Goodman is very corrupt. He's just doing all kinds of shady stuff, bribing people. And he ends up... all his companies are actually owned by Melanie Griffith due to just shady business reasons. And now that she's smart, she finds out that she owns these companies, she finds out what he's doing, and basically just in the end, she calls him out on it. And that's the story. Now she's wiser, now she's... you know, she's not the ditz that she once was, and her and her new love interest fall in love, and they run off and get married, apparently. And that's basically the story. It really wasn't anything great. It wasn't really funny. It wasn't something that really wrapped you up in the movie. It just was very mediocre. I just, after I watched the movie, I just kind of went, alright, I saw that. I probably won't ever be watching this movie again. I wouldn't say that I hated it. It was alright for the hour and a half. I watched it. It's not like I started playing it on my phone or, got up and did something else. No, I sat down and it kept my interest. I won't say necessarily entertained me, but it kept my interest for the hour and a half. So I guess that's something. Would I recommend it? Not really. It was, like I said, it was mediocre. It was bland. There really wasn't much that I could say that I really recommend about this movie. Even John Goodman. I love John Goodman. I tend to like all the movies he's in. In this movie, he plays a complete dick. I mean, you hate him in this movie. He does not play a lovable character at all. But that's not his character. His character you are supposed to hate, and you certainly do. I definitely hated his character in this movie. He was a dick, and you just wanted to hate the guy, and you certainly did. So I guess they got that across. But that's unfortunate because I tend to love John Goodman, and I don't want to see him in that character. I mean, it's what he is. He did a good job with his character, but you want to love him, and it just sucks you gotta hate him. So in the end, I really can't say much about this film. I gave you the very simple, bland, mediocre plots. It really didn't amount to much of anything. I just kind of, like I said, in the end, I just kind of went, huh, I saw this. Now what? That was basically it. So again, I wouldn't really recommend it. You can, if you do want to see it, you can get it really cheap. Best Buy, not Best Buy, BJ's wholesale right now has this for $3.99, but I'm sure you can get it at places like Best Buy and other places like that for $5-6. So if you want to see it, you can pick it up for cheap, but in the end, I would just say stay away. It's nothing you need to see. It won't really be, it won't really entertain you. It might keep your interest for the hour and a half, but in the end, you won't really be entertained. You probably won't ever want to pick this one up again. This one here is going to be collecting some dust in my collection because I don't think I'll ever really check the movie out again, but I guess it is what it is, but like I said, can't recommend it. So that's it for what I bought when I watched today. Definitely excited about my VHS haul. Again, it pays to just talk to people. When you go to a thrift store, when you go to a pawn shop, get to know the people, get to know, who runs it, who works there, and you never know what'll happen. Sometimes, in my case, I know people who work at certain stores who call me up and let me know that they get new stuff in, or in this case, the owners told me about somebody else who has a whole bunch of VHS tapes, and I ended up getting a lot of great titles. So it definitely pays to get to know people. I've said this 100 times, and I'll say it 100 more. Definitely get to know the people who work at your stores. It's a really good idea if you really want to, get into collecting and you really want to find all the really good deals. So again, very excited about my VHS haul. And unfortunately, watching Born yesterday, very mediocre, very bland, not really all that good of a story. I know it is a remake. I know there is an original. Haven't seen that. I'm sort of interested in checking it out. I believe it's from 1950, I think it is. Interested in checking that one out to see if it's any better, or if it's just as bland. Who knows? So I can't really recommend Born Yesterday, the remake, the 1993 remake. Can't really recommend it. I'd say stay away. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to see what I bought when I watch tomorrow. See ya.